Okay, 30 minutes. Trying to get some progress on C++ All-In-One For Dummies. All right. So we're now on page 498. Yep. Oh, bye. Okay, I'm getting chilly, so I'm gonna pause that timer. I know the blanket's right here, but I'm like, oh, my boyfriend, I want to make sure that's good for him. I spend all of my days hanging around so many people. So I kind of want to make sure this stays as clean as possible. All right. Just gotta get my jacket on. Okay. Hi, Liv. Belt's doing tricks. My apologies. Oh, all right. Here we go. Let's do this. Some reading time. Ah, yay. I'm not going anywhere right now. I'm just chilly, so I had to put on my jacket. I don't like to using my bed things outside of bed. Oh, that's nice. 64 degrees Fahrenheit. I wouldn't begin to know how I can check what is inside of my... Oh, Jimon Toilet 4.0, thank you. Hi, Dave V. I'm just doing a little reading here. And also impressed by Renardina's 64 Fahrenheit apartment. I can't ask Alexa right now. I would love to, but I have to turn her off so she doesn't interfere with these other speakers. All right, let's get back to some reading time. As much as I love the dancing, I like doing the reading too. 30 minutes. All right. Programming the exceptions to the rule. An exception is a bad situation that occurs in your software, causing your application to have to handle the bad situation. For example, if you would try to write to a file, but somehow that file got corrupted and you can't, the operating system might throw an exception, or you might have a function that processes some data, and if the function encounters corrupted data, it might throw an execution. Exceptions were new to C++. They did not exist in C. People were a little suspicious of them when they first came out, and some people even consider them to be bad with a capital B. Yeah, so they say in the parentheticals, that's with a capital B. The reason is this: people who oppose exceptions feel that writing code that relies too heavily on exceptions is too easy, but you should use them because they help you handle situations that you might not otherwise anticipate. Hi, Chloe, and hi, John Elmore. The exceptions you're on example shown in listing 3-4 is a sample of a function that we wrote that throws an exception and an entire application that uses the function. So this is the part where I get to change cameras so I can show the code. Oh, yes it is. Chloe and Chloe McCollum. Oh, Chloe, that's so kind of you. You're welcome. And thank you for saying I'm pretty. Let's see, switching that camera on over to the book, because this is far more pretty. All right, this here is the code. It goes like that. Let me do that. Maybe that'll help. It says hashtag include IOString, hashtag include string, using namespace standard, void process data, throw a new string. Oops, I found some bad data. Int main try. This is called try catch statement. Anyway, or try catch blocks. This is a try block. That's a catch block. That's why it's a try catch statement. Anyway, here you go. Try process data. See out. No problems. Inline. Catch strings star accept. See out. Found an error. Here's the message. See out inline. See out star accept. See out inline. See out all finished, inline, return 0. Oh, hi, Kim. Thank you for that. Okay. Continuing on. Unfortunately, I've already done all of the dancing that I care to do today. This is about C++ All-In-One For Dummies. Go ahead and run this application. You see the following text as output. All right. Here we go. This is the output you would see if you ran the application. Found an error. Here's the message. Oops, I found some bad data. All finished. Look closely at what this application does. In main, there's a call to process data, which we put inside a try block. Because the call is inside a try block, the computer calls the function. And if the function throws an exception, the application automatically comes back out of the function and goes into the catch block. The catch block receives the item that was thrown as a parameter, much like a parameter to a function. But if the process data function didn't encounter any problems and therefore didn't throw an exception, the function will complete its work and the application will continue with the code after the function call. In this case, one more line is inside the try block. If there was no exception, then upon completion of the process data function, the computer does the cout line after the process data call. Think of an exception handler as a way to catch errors. If an exception gets thrown, your application can catch the error by including a catch block. After the try catch block, okay, they just call it try / catch block is complete, the application will run any lines that follow, regardless of whether or not an exception was present. Thus, in all cases, listing 3-word will execute the line, see out all finished in line. Now in the listing, note that our process data function calls throw, meaning that it generates an exception. Normally, you probably wouldn't just have a function throw an exception for no reason, as this function does, unless you're trying to have fun with your users, in the parenthetical. But we do that just to demonstrate how the exceptions work. And besides, this is fun. This particular throw looks like this. All right. Sorry, Gavin, I already did dancing earlier today, not too long ago. Kitten, I just got back to work today, so it just kind of depends on how things continue with work and stuff. Probably on weekends. I'm trying to see how this week goes as a test. We're trying to do some things during the week, but I do need to get the computer science in the mix. Hence today. Hence why I did like an hour, or was that 2? Well, anyway, I just did. Oh, I forgot to set it public. I have to do that later. Anyway, this part. So that's how the throw looks. Throw new string. Oops, I found some bad data. Okay. We create a new string instance and that's what we throw. You can create an instance of any class you want, and it can be either a pointer or a direct instance, depending on whether you prefer to work with pointers or references. It's your choice. Now look at the catch block in listing 3-4. Notice that it starts with this. Hey, Eva Bishop. Or Eva. I usually have that right? Eva Bishop. All right, so this looks like this. It starts with the catch, and then the parenthetical, and inside is the string and the star except. Because in the function we threw a pointer to a string instance, here we catch a pointer to a string instance. Everything must match. Oh, Kitten, I don't really know if I have a favorite song, like a all my life favorite song. When it comes to stuff that came out in 2024, Die With a Smile is very nice. Because in the function we threw a pointer to a string instance, yes, they must match, yes. You can have more than one catch block. Suppose different types of exceptions could get thrown. For example, you might have another function like this. Yeah, that's a really good song. Void, process more, throw new into 10. The other function threw a pointer to a string, but this one throws a pointer to an integer. Watch out! Lots of things getting thrown around. Then, when you call the two functions, your try-catch block can look like this. Try, process data, process more, see out, no problems in line, catch, string, star accept, see out, found an error, here's the message, see out in line, see out, star accept, see out, in line, catch, int star num, see out, found a numerical error, here it is, see out, in line, see out, star num, see out, in line, see out, all finished in line. If you add this code and the process more function to listing 3-4, you probably want to comment out the throw line from the process data function if you want to see this application handle the integer exception. That's because the exception of the lines in the try block will cease as soon as a throw statement occurs, and control will be transferred to the appropriate catch block. Which catch block gets the honor depends on the type of the object thrown. Throwing direct instances. You can throw a direct instance that is not a pointer. In your throw line, you would do this. Void, process data, throw string. Oops, I found some bad data. Or this, void, process more, throw 10. Instead of throwing pointers, we're throwing the object or value itself. In the catch block, then you can catch the type itself without a pointer. Try, process data, process more, catch, string accept, see out accept, catch, int num, see out num. Or if you prefer, you can use references in the catch block. The throw line does not change. It looks like this. Try, process data, process more, catch, string, ampersand accept, C out, accept, catch, int, ampersand num, C out, num. Tip, you may notice something just a little strange. For the integer version, the throw statement looks like this, throw 10. That is, the line of code is throwing a value, not an object. But the catch line looks like this, catch, int, ampersand, num. Oh, this right here is C++ All-In-One For Dummies. This is the 3rd edition. This is written by John Paul Mueller and Jeff Cogswell. It's got 6-in-1 books. The latest version is the 4th edition. So if you look for C++ All-In-One For Dummies, especially if you go to the website, that's the All-In-One For Dummies website, it should take you to information for the latest edition. The catch statement is catching a reference. Normally you can have references only to variables, not to values. But it works here because inside the computer, the application makes a temporary variable, and that's what you're referring to in the catch block. So all is fine. Kitten, I'm done dancing today. If you'd like to see more dancing, I look forward to more dancing tomorrow. Eva Bishop, thank you. And also, I will eventually get that stream I did earlier today published. So that will be available, just probably not till after I'm done with this. Okay. Catching any statement. If you want to write a general catch handler that will catch any exception, and you don't care to actually catch the object that was thrown, you can write your handler like this. Okay, so try, process data, process more, see out no problems, inline, catch, ... See out, an unknown exception occurred, inline. That is, instead of putting what is effectively a function parameter in the catch header, you just put 3 dots called an ellipses. I was thinking it was called that, but I was like, maybe I'm a little too sleepy and I have that wrong. But no, I didn't. Good. Warning. Some word processors, Microsoft Word being one, can transform 3 type periods into a single ellipses character. Don't paste that character into the code editor because the compiler won't know what to do with it. Instead, type 3 periods. You can also use the ellipses. You can use ellipses also as a general exception catcher in addition to your other handlers. Here is an example. That's right, Randy. I've had so much dancing. It has been fantastic. Throughout winter break, there are so many live streams that are on demand, and so many of my TikToks that I was able to thankfully transfer over. Not all the way technically, yes, if the ban happens, but copy over with my last one coming in from there, going to be posting tomorrow at 4 in the morning Pacific Standard Time. I'm very happy that you guys are enjoying my dancing, but for now I'm done dancing for today, but I look forward to more dancing tomorrow in the evening time after work. And yes, Rainer Dean's right, so much dancing on my available videos and on-demand live streams. Okay, let's see. Try, process data, process more, see out no problems, catch string sub, see out found an error, here's the message, see out inline, see out accept, see out inline, catch int num, Found numerical error. Here it is. C out inline. C out num. C out inline. Catch. ... The ellipses. C out. An unknown exception occurred in line. If when will be my next? Oh yeah, tomorrow. After work, sometime around the time I started today's first live. That was like somewhere like 4 or 5, something like that. I typically don't get off of work until like close to 2:30, and then it takes like some time to get back home. Warning, if your function calls through an exception and you don't have an exception handler for it because your catch blocks don't handle the type of exception being thrown, or you don't have any try catch blocks, your application will stop. The GCC compiler that comes with cold blocks, dev-c++, mingw, and Cygwin, or Cygwin, not sure which way you pronounce that, prints the following message on the console and then immediately terminates the application. Oh, I don't know if you want to know, kitten. It's just I don't know if you ever see Until Dawn, but basically it's the main adversary in Until Dawn. That's all I'm saying about that. Catch, see out, an unknown exception occurred in line. And I will mention that unless you're not aware, Until Dawn is considered a horror game, mainly because of the Wendigo issue in the game. Yes. So if you're not into scary things, maybe don't worry about it. Warning, if your function calls throw an exception and you, abnormal. I'm sorry. Oh, good night, kitten. Again, try me tomorrow when I'm not doing this and a little earlier, and you should be catching me doing some dancing. Luna, what go eek? I don't get it. Unless you're talking about the Wendigo, in which case, okay, I can see that. All right. Abnormal program termination. That's what you would see. Yeah, that part. I'm bored. Hello, someone name a car for an edit? I don't know. Hi, Scubby Diet. Bye, kitten. See you later. Sorry, this isn't as amusing as the dancing time. That's not good at all. Imagine the looks on your users' faces if they saw this. We know that we wouldn't want to be standing there with them, knowing that we're the ones who wrote the application. Visual C++ also prints the same message, but shows it in a message box. Borland C++ Builder shows the same message too and writes it to the console. Tip: 2 programming rules keep your users happily ignorant of exceptions. Know when you're calling a function that could throw an exception. And then the other one is when you're calling a function that could throw an exception, include an exception handler. It doesn't matter how deep the exception is when it's thrown. Somewhere, somebody needs to catch it. A function could call a function that calls the function that calls the function that calls the function that throws an exception. If no intermediate function has an exception handler, put one in your outer function. Rethrowing an exception. When inside a catch block, a throw statement without anything after it will simply rethrow the same exception. Although this may seem a bit convoluted, and indeed it can be, you may have a function that contains a try-catch block. But this function might also be called by another function that has a try-catch block. In other words, you might have something like the code found in the exception 02 example. Hashtag include IOStream using namespace standard, void enter throw string error. Oh, I have some issues getting the page. There we go. Oh, yo, new chapter. Woo. All right. Void outer, try, inner, catch string except, see out outer an exception, see out except inline, throw. Int main, try, outer, catch string except, see out main caught an exception, see out except inline, return 0. In the preceding code, main calls outer, outer in turn calls inner, inner throws an exception and outer catches it, but main also wants to catch the exception. So we had outer rethrow the exception. You do that by calling throw without anything after it, like this. So you put your throw and then nothing after that. When you run this application, you see the following output. Outer caught an exception, error. Main caught an exception, error. And yay, we finally made it to chapter 4. Yes. This right here is the 3rd book, I think, of this 5. No, of the 6 books in one. Let me double check. Ooh. I'm going at a snail's pace on this. All right, let's see. All right. We're on, I believe it's book 3, just double checking that. No, book 4. Yes, book 4. All right. Book 4, chapter 4, let's go. All right. Okay, here we go. Chapter 4, Advanced Class Usage. In this chapter, we're going to learn the following. Using polymorphism effectively, adjusting member access between private, protected, and public when deriving new classes, multiple inheriting new classes, making virtual inheritance work correctly, and keeping your friends straight, especially in class. Putting one class or type inside another. Classes are amazingly powerful. You can do so much with them. In this chapter, we talk about many of the extra features you can use in your classes. But these aren't just little extras that you may want to use on occasion. If you follow the instructions in this chapter, you should find that your understanding of classes in C++ will greatly improve, and you'll want to use many of these topics throughout your programming. We also talk about many issues that come up when you're deriving new classes and inheriting members. This discussion includes virtual inheritance and multiple inheritance, topics that people mess up a lot. We also describe the ways you can put classes and types inside other classes. Inheriting correctly. Without inheritance, doing object-oriented programming would be nearly impossible. Yes, you could divide your work into objects, but the real power comes from inheritance. However, you have to be careful when using inheritance, or you can really mess things up. In the sections that follow, we talk about different ways to use inheritance and how to keep it all straight. Morphing your inheritance. Polymorphism refers to using one object as an instance of a base class. For example, if you have the class creature and from that you derive the class platypus, you can treat the instances of class platypus as if they're instances of class creature. This concept is useful if you have a function that takes as a parameter a pointer to creature. You can pass a pointer to platypus. However, you can't go further than that. You can't take a pointer to creature. Remember, when you say a pointer to a pointer, the first pointer really means the address of the second pointer variable. We need to phrase things like that, or our brains might explode in certain situations. So if you have a function such as this, hi Livy Fan Forever. That's okay, no worries. I already did some dancing today. This is just book reading time for a little bit more. I'm about to break here and go eat and get some sleep because I started back to work today. And yeah. What was I showing? Oh yeah, that. Void feed creature star C out feed me in line. You're free to pass the address of a platypus object as in the following. Platypus star Plato equals new platypus feed Plato. With a function that takes the address of a pointer variable, note the two asterisks in the parameter like this. Void eat creature star C. C out feed me in line. You cannot pass the address of a pointer to a platypus instance, as in the example, platypus star Plato equals new platypus. Eat ampersand Plato. If you try to compile this code, you get a compiler error. You don't always use polymorphism when you declare a variable. If you do, you would be declaring variables like this. Creature star Plato equals new platypus. The type Plato is a pointer to creature. Oh, gotta charge my left battery. My right one decided that it wants to go totally nuts on me and give me all kinds of crazy sounds. So now I gotta do everything on my left one and now I gotta charge it. All right, friends, that is time. That's where I need to stop. I have to go and eat yummy food time. Lady Time Forever, thank you very much for being here. I have to wonder if you're the other person too, but I don't think so. But that'd be kind of funny if so. Well, anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get some food. I'm hoping that anything's a little earlier today will help me get to sleep a little earlier. Yeah, thank you, Ryan. I swear I did everything right yesterday, but I still ended up just wide awake for like an hour going, why am I awake right now? It's so weird. Anyway, gotta get back into it. Oh yeah, John Boston, hey. Oh, you're here for the, great, you got me into both. But yeah, C++ All-In-One For Dummies time. Eventually I'll figure out how to get some coding in the mix, but I don't really trust my computer right now, but I'll keep thinking of some stuff. Oh, Reinardina. I was thinking maybe doing like a Google collab or something. Um, those are fun. Make it like a group thing. Well, all right, something to think about in the future. Okay then. Oh, Jed Burlett, thank you so much. Same to you and everyone else here. Oh, we need a lot more of those kind of vibes, I'd say. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not really sure. But it'd be fun to work on something. And I know like I used Google Colabs when I was doing some like in some of my classes that involved like working with partners, and it was a fun experience for the most part. I don't really know, but something we can talk about in the future. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if that's doable, Ryan or Dina. Like we kind of have to expect the government to step in and do something about it, but they kind of should have already did something about it like 20 years ago. And I don't, I don't know, Ryan or Dina. Oh, user F155. Thank you so kindly. Um, but this is more of a review for me. I spent, what do you call it, 10 years, um, effectively getting into and getting through grad school for computer science. And I did have a great opportunity back in fall of 2023 to learn the hard way some C++ while I was in the middle of trying to make projects and stuff. And I eventually got it very good, and it came in handy during my last semester, spring 2024. But I'm like, hey, since I have the opportunity, since I graduated back in May, I'm like, hey, let me get this book and kind of like try to actually review this and give it a chance to marinate a little. So thank you for that. It's always nice to make sure I can actually factually know I know a thing. All right, Nadina. I don't know about how to make something that could help with that. That seems like just tough time. And it's just so interesting. I could like if people were it could be a good thing, but we just don't live in a society that sees how to try to make it be a good thing. They just rather see how to make the most money with it as possible. And so a lot of people are going to get thrown out of their jobs while they're doing that. If this bubble doesn't burst, at least with crypto, the bubble bursted for a while, but they're trying to get that back, and I don't know. Hard to say. Oh, Euro networking in 97. That's fun. Yeah, we're definitely, ah, it's crazy. No, I hear you, Jed Bartlett. Yeah, nowadays it's way crazy. Um, I still remember back in my youth hanging out in the library at the school playing Oregon Trail on the old Macintosh, I assume, computers, but I guess it could have been PC because they all looked with that, you know. Now you go you get Linux, you're dealing with that, but back then that was just the way it was. And things have come up interesting ways since then. Honestly, it's nice to just do Linux more. I have to maybe set up a virtual machine again. Because sometimes you just want to see you in the code and not have all that extra stuff going around. Oh, Spellcopter? Oh, fun. Yeah, that sounds like a good one. Well, I don't know. I don't know the solution for that right now, Dina. I mean, there's a Kahoot, one of those. Like, there's this thing called Kahoot, and somebody figured out an app that could, but it's just one app. Like, there are a lot of, like, I don't know, the turtle triangle, load running. All right, you were having all kinds of fun doing some learning on computers back then. That's good to know. Well, on that note, I truly 7:30, beautiful. I'm gonna go get some food and then work on getting some sleep. Hopefully I do a better job tonight than I did last night. So thank you for sharing, Jed Bartlett. I look forward to doing, if all goes well, we'll see, 2 streams tomorrow. Yeah, that's the best order. Oh, okay. Thank you for that, Elias Faith. Oh, sweet. Thank you, Jed Bartlett. Yes, I'm going to do that. Darrell, you also have a good night. All right, good night, Darrell. Good night, Jed Bartlett. Good night, Elias Faith. Good night, Dina. Oh, let's see. Anyone else still here who I missed? Good night, user F155 if you're still here. Good night, John Boston, but I think you're already gone. But yes, good night to you also, just in case. And Livy Fan Forever, if you're still here, good night to you also. It's possible. Can say bye. All right. Well, yeah, pretty much. Still, gotta try. All right. So, speaking of chit chat, I have to end some kind of way. So, if anyone happens to check this out in the future, it's possible. Whenever, wherever, however, whatever, just make the most of it. That's the most important part. Bye bye.